Hello everyone, this is Asra Sultana, Assistant Professor in EEE Department, ISL Engineering College. Last class we have seen about the starting of third unit, that is, we have seen the governor characteristics, we have seen about various controls like flat frequency regulation, parallel frequency regulation, flat tie line loading control, and we have seen about selective frequency control, tie line load bias control. Okay. Now let us see in this class the necessity of keeping frequency constant. Okay. In the previous class we were talking about we have to maintain frequency constant and we have to regulate the generators according to the changes in the load. Okay. So now we will see why we have to keep the frequency as constant. So change in frequency will cause change in speed of the consumer's plant, which will affect the production processes. And also it is necessary to maintain network frequency constant so that the power stations will run satisfactorily in parallel and the various motors operating on the system will run at the desired speed and correct time will be obtained from synchronous clocks in the system and the entertaining devices function properly. Power system will consist of a number of synchronous generators which will be operating under different conditions at different places. So the common thing about synchronous generator connected in a system is that they will maintain the synchronism with each other. That is, angular separation between the rotor of this generator will remain constant. So frequency should be maintained near 50 Hz for the following reasons. Steam turbine blades are designed to operate in a narrow band of frequencies. The deviation of frequency beyond this band will cause gradual or immediate turbine damage. Protective and control equipment will take correction action in case of under or over voltage frequency. A 50 Hz steam turbine may not be able to withstand frequency deviation of plus 2 Hz to minus 2.5 Hz for more than an hour in its entire life. Okay. Loads and other electrical equipment are usually designed to operate at a particular frequency. Off nominal frequency operation will cause electrical loads to deviate from the desired output. And the output of power plant auxiliaries like pumps or fans may reduce, causing reduction in power plant output. Okay, so what are the reasons here? So, if you take the steam turbine blades are designed to operate in a narrow band of frequencies. Okay, some range of frequency will be there. Under that range only the blades will operate. So, if the deviation of frequency is beyond this range, then this will cause a gradual or immediate turbine damage. Okay, turbine will get damaged if it is not operating in this range of frequencies. Protective and control equipment will take corrective action in case of under or over frequency. 50 Hz steam turbine may not be able to withstand frequency deviation of 2 Hz to minus 2.5 Hz for more than an hour in its entire life. Okay, and we have seen here that loads and other electrical equipments are designed to operate at a particular frequency. Okay, all the equipments, electrical equipments or loads can be anything. Okay, which are connected to the electrical equipment which is taking the electrical energy. So these electrical equipment and loads, they are usually designed to operate at some particular frequency. So if we are not giving the that frequency to that equipments, we will not get a desired output. Output of power plant auxiliaries like pumps or fans will reduce, causing reduction in power plant output. Now let us consider the problem of controlling the power output of the generators of a closely knit electrical area so as to maintain the scheduled frequency. All the generators in such an area will constitute a coherent group so that all the generators speed up and slow down together, maintaining their relative power angles. So this area is called as control area. Okay. So what is a control area? Control area is an area in which it forms a coherent group so that all the generators speed up and slow down together, maintaining their relative power angles. And they will maintain the constant frequency also. So to understand this load frequency control problem, let us consider a single turbo generator system supplying an isolated load. So there are four main parts of this turbine speed governing system: flyball speed governor, hydraulic amplifier, linkage mechanism, speed changer. So there are four main parts of a turbine speed governing system. So this figure is showing us the speed governing system of a steam turbine, and it consists of the following components, that is flyball governor, hydraulic amplifier, linkage mechanism and speed changer. Okay, we can see here flyball speed governor, speed governor, hydraulic amplifier, linkage mechanism and speed changer here. So this entire thing is called as linkage mechanism. Okay, and this is speed changer. Flyball speed governor is the heart of the system which will sense the change in speed and hence frequency. As the speed increases, the flyball move outwards and the point B on linkage mechanism will move downwards. And the reverse will happen when the speed decreases. Now let us see hydraulic amplifier. It consists of pilot valve and the main piston. Low power level pilot valve movement is converted into high power level pilot valve. So this is necessary in order to open or close the steam valve against high pressure system. Let us see what is linkage mechanism. So APC is a rigid link pivoted at here. These points A, B, C, D, E. Okay. These are the points A, B, C, D, E. So ABC is a rigid link pivoted at B and CD is another rigid link pivoted at D. At C and at B and at D, we are pivoting the links. So this link mechanism provides a movement to the control valve in proportion to the change in speed. It will also provide a feedback from the steam valve movement. Next is speed changer. Speed changer will provide a steady state power output setting for the turbine. Its downward movement will open the upper pilot valve so that more steam is admitted to the turbine under steady state condition, and reverse will happen for the upward movement of the speed changer. Let us see the model of a speed governor system. Let us assume that the system is initially operating under steady state conditions. The linkage mechanism is stationary and pilot valve is closed. Steam valve is opened by definite magnitude and turbine is running at constant speed with constant power output, balancing the generation load. Let the operating conditions be characterized by F naught, PG naught and YE naught. So governor will compensate for the changes in the shaft speed. Changes in load will eventually lead to a change in shaft speed, and change in shaft speed is also seen as a change in system frequency. Now this F naught is representing system frequency, PG naught is representing generator output, that is equal to turbine output neglecting generation, generator loss. YE0 is representing steam valve setting. We shall obtain a linear incremental model around these operating conditions. Let point A on the linkage mechanism be moved downward by a small amount by delta YA. So we are moving the point A on the linkage mechanism by a small amount delta YA. Some small change we are doing here. Okay. So it is a command which causes the turbine power output to change and can therefore be written as delta YA is equal to Kc delta Pc. What is this delta Pc? Delta Pc is the commanded increase in power. The command signal delta Pc or delta YE gets into motion a sequence of events. That is, the pilot valve will move upwards and high pressure oil high pressure oil will fluid onto the top of the main piston, moving it downwards. The steam valve will open, consequently the steam valve opening will increase and the turbine generator speed will increase. That is, the frequency will go up. Let us model these events mathematically. Okay, two factors will contribute to the movement of C. Delta YA contributes minus N2 by L1 into delta YA or minus K1 delta YA of minus K1 Kc delta Pc. Second one is increase in frequency delta F causes the fly balls to move outwards so that B will move downwards by a proportional amount K2 dash delta F. The consequent movement of C with A remaining fixed at Y delta YA is L1 plus L2 by L1 into K2 dash delta F equal to plus K2 delta F. So this is the downward movement. Okay. The net movement of C is therefore delta YC equal to minus K1 Kc delta PC plus K2 delta F. We are adding these two things now. Okay. What is happening when there is a change in the position? That change we are finding out, that is the movement of C we are finding out as delta YC equal to minus K1 Kc delta PC plus K2 delta F. Take this as equation 2. So the moment of D, that is delta YD, will be the amount by which the pilot valve opens. It is contributed by delta YC and delta YE and can be written as delta YD is L4 by L3 plus L4 delta YC plus L3 by L3 plus L4 delta YE. Now this delta YE will can be written as K3 delta YC plus K4 delta YE. This is equation 3. And delta YE can be written as K5 integral 0 to T minus delta YD dt. So we can verify from the schematic diagram that a positive movement delta YD will cause negative movement and delta YE movement delta YE accounting for the negative sign used in equation 4. Okay. Positive movement of delta YD will cause a negative movement of YE. That's why we are writing minus sign in this equation. Okay. Minus here. So taking the Laplace transform of equation 2, 3 and 4. Okay. 2, 3 and 4 we are taking the Laplace transform. So y delta yc of s is equal to minus k1 kc delta pc of s plus k2 delta f of s and delta yd of s is equal to minus k3 delta yc of s plus k4 delta ye of s and delta ye of s is equal to minus k5 1 by s delta yd of s. So eliminating delta yc of s and delta yd of s, we can write delta ye of s is equal to k1 k3 kc delta pc of s minus k2 k3 delta f of s by k4 plus s by s k5. Or delta y of s can be written as delta pc of s minus 1 by r delta f of s into ksg by 1 plus tsgs. What is this r here? R is nothing but k1 kc by k2. That is speed regulation of the governor, and ksg is nothing but k1 k3 kc by k4. That is gain of speed governor, and ksg is 1 by k4 k5 time constant of speed governor. So this equation 8 is represented in the form of a block diagram. This one. Delta ye of s is equal to delta pc of s minus 1 by r delta f of s. Okay. That is, here we can write minus delta pc of s plus 1 by r delta f of s. Delta pc of s minus 1 by r delta f of s into this ksg This is a summing point here we can take, that is minus delta Pc of S minus 1 by R into delta F of S into Ksg by 1 plus Tsg into S is giving us what? Delta Ye of S. Okay, this equation we are representing in the form of a block diagram. Okay, you can see clearly here in this block diagram also same thing I have drawn. Okay. So delta by E of S is equal to what? Delta Pc of S minus 1 by R into delta F of S multiplied by Ksg by 1 plus S into Tsg. So this is the speed governor model. Now let us see the turbine model. So prime mover driving a generator unit may be a steam turbine or a hydro turbine. So models for prime mover must take account of the steam supply and boiler control system characteristics in the case of steam turbine on the penstock for a hydro turbine. The dynamic response of steam turbine in terms of changes in generator power output delta Pg to change in steam valve opening delta Xe can be. So we are considering now a dynamic response of steam turbine in terms of changes in power output to changes in steam valve opening, that is delta Ye. So this A figure shows a two-stage steam turbine with a reheat unit. Okay, the dynamic response is largely influenced by two factors here. Entrained steam between the inlet steam valve and the first stage of the turbine, and second one is the storage action in the heat which will cause the output of the low pressure stage to lag behind that of the high pressure stage. Thus, the turbine transfer function is characterized by two time constants, and this figure, second figure is showing us the transfer function model of a steam turbine. The time constant Pt lies in the range 0.2 to 2.5 seconds. Okay, so this is the block diagram showing the transfer function model of a steam turbine. Delta Y of S kT by 1 plus STT into delta PTS. Now let us see the generator load model or power system model. So to develop the mathematical model of an isolated generator which is only supplying the local load and not supplying the power to another area. Suppose there is a real load change of delta PD. Due to the action of the turbine controllers, generator increases its output by an amount delta Pg. So net surplus amount, that is delta Pg minus delta Pd, will be absorbed by the system in two ways. First one is increasing the kinetic energy in the rotor as the frequency changes, motor load changes. Being sensitive to speed, the rate of change of load with respect to frequency also changes. So the increment in power input to the generator load system is delta Pg minus delta Pd, where delta Pg is equal to delta Pd, incremental turbine power output, and so the increment in power input to the system will be accounted in two ways, that is rate of increase of stored kinetic energy in the generator rotor. See, the delta PD is the load increment, and this increment in the power input to the system will be accounted for in two ways, that is rate of increase of stored kinetic energy in the generator rotor. At scheduled frequency F0, the stored energy will be WKE, that is kinetic energy is equal to H into PR kilowatt, where PR is the kilowatt rating of the turbo generator and H is defined as the inertial constant. Kinetic energy being proportional to square of the speed or square of the frequency, the kinetic energy at a frequency of F0 plus delta F will be given by delta WKE is equal to WKE naught into F0 plus delta F by F0 square. Okay. So because kinetic energy is proportional to the square of the frequency. So we are writing here now kinetic energy at a frequency of F naught plus delta F. That is Wk is equal to Wke naught into F naught plus delta F by F naught square, or Wk is approximately equal to HPR 1 plus 2 delta F by F naught. Rate of change of kinetic energy is therefore can be written as d by dt of Wke, that is 2 HPR by F naught d by dt of delta F. Now let us see the second condition. As the frequency changes, the motor load changes. Being sensitive to speed, the rate of change of load with respect to frequency, that is dou Pd by dou F, can be regarded as really constant for small changes in frequency delta F, and can be expressed as dou Pd by dou F equal to dou Pd by dou F into delta F equal to V delta F, where the constant P can be determined empirically and B is a positive for a predominantly motor load. So we are writing now the power balance equation. Delta Pg minus delta Pd is equal to 2 HPR by F naught d by dt of delta F plus B delta F. Dividing throughout by PR and rearranging, we are going to get the delta Pg per unit value delta Pg minus delta Pd per unit value as 2H by F naught d by dt delta F plus B per unit into delta F. Take this as equation 12. Now we are taking the Laplace transform and writing the value of delta f of s. Now delta f of s is equal to delta pg of s minus delta pd of s divided by b plus 2h by f naught s. That is, it can be written as delta pg of s minus delta pd of s into kps by 1 plus tps into s. Take this as equation 13. Now what is this TPS? TPS is nothing but 2h by bf naught, that is power system time constant, and kps is equal to 1 by b. This is power system gain. So this 13th equation I am writing, drawing in the form of block diagram as, see here, PGS minus delta PDS. This is PGS minus delta PDS into KPS by 1 plus TPS into S is equal to delta F of S. Okay. Delta Pg of S minus delta Pd of S into Kp by 1 plus STP is equal to delta F of S. Now if you combine all these three models, there is governor, turbine and generator, three models. If you are combining, you are going to get the complete block diagram of load frequency control of an isolated power system. That is, here you can see P delta PC of S is here, and this is the summation point. This is KSG, speed governor, gain, and this is turbine, and this is generator. Okay, governor, turbine, generator. Okay, KSG by 1 plus STSG, KT by 1 plus STT, and KP by 1 plus STP. Okay, so we are combining all these three together and forming this complete block diagram representation. So students, this is a very important question, and this can be asked for 10 marks in the final exam, to draw the complete block diagram representation of load frequency control of an isolated power system or single area system. Okay, single area or isolated, we can draw this complete block diagram. Okay, in the next class we will see about the other topics, that is two area control system, and what is droop, and what is the dynamic response, and few problems also we will see, and proportional plus integral control, uh, we will see in the next class. Okay, so students, I hope everyone understood this class. Thank you, students.